coming to you from the ballpark at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, where this afternoon WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's the captain, Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gordon Beckham, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Don Mattingly's Los Angeles Dodgers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. We get set to bring you today's game on a cloudy but nice day here in Arizona. The weather's just been magnificent. And, Steve, these two clubs, Sox coming in 8-13-1, Dodgers 8-15-1, but both managers are pleased with the way the clubs have worked this spring.
Well, fortunately, spring training doesn't really matter. What matters is who you can keep healthy and who you get hurt. And unfortunately for the Dodgers, they've had a few injuries that have really set them back some. And in that division, with the pitching of San Diego and the pitching of San Francisco, you can't afford to fall back too far. As far as the Sox are concerned, they've been a pretty healthy club. And I think what we're seeing today is close to their ball club that they're going to start the season with the exception of Omar Vizquel in the lineup today. So we've got Gavin Floyd going to the mound. Last time out, he threw in a simulated game and threw 5 innings. He's been throwing the ball pretty well. We'll see about the curveball here in Arizona. It's a pretty tough thing to do. John Eli, a former White Sox pitcher, going to the mound for the Dodgers. He's not going to start for the Dodgers this year, but he's had a good spring at 2-1 with a 2.70 ERA. He's going to be in their bullpen. They've had injuries to Garland. They've had injuries to Padilla. So they're looking for a number 5. Eli's trying to win that. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish it. But today is a day where you look at some of your starters and you figure out where they're going to be when the season starts.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you by Miller Lite Vortex Bottle. Taste greatness. Mega Millions. And now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. And by Ford. The newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store. Like the all-new Ford Explorer SUV. 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford. Drive one. Are you
Chicago White Sox baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is a whopping $244 million. Well, I'll split that one with you. An overcast day today, not much sun, but the temperatures are beautiful here. As the Dodgers having a tough spring, taking on the Sox, also having a tough spring. And we'll have to see just exactly which team comes out of the gate the quickest. Obviously, the Sox hoping that some of the physical struggles for Minnesota continue as they're having some problems with their lineup. The Sox lineup looks pretty solid. This is a team that there's a lot expected of this year as they take the field. And let's look at how the Dodgers are going to line up behind Don Mattingly. Velez is playing third base. He's a switch hitter. De Jesus playing second base. Then Andre Ethier hitting in the third spot. Kemp in center field. Loney, a slick fielding first baseman. Then Gibbons, Navarro, Castro, and John Eli, a former member of the White Sox, on the hill for the Dodgers. The defense and how they'll line up behind Gavin Floyd. Left to right, Pierre Rios and Quentin in the infield. We've got Morel, Vizquel, Beckham, and Konerko. Castro gets a nod behind the plate today, and Gavin Floyd on the hill. He's only thrown a little over 4 innings in regular baseball this spring, but he's had a simulated game start. There you look at the numbers. He's a curveball pitcher, and of course a curveball a little more difficult to deal with down here in Arizona. The umpires for the game today: Corey Blazer behind the plate, and on the bases Gary Darling, Scott Berry, and Chris Conroy. So on a day where the wind is absolutely no factor whatsoever, at least at the start of the game, the flags limp atop the pole. And as the White Sox throw the ball around the infield, we're ready for baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us. As we mentioned at the top, Dodgers come in at 8-15-1. Sox are 8-13-1. And here's Velez. First pitch from the 6'6" right-hander, Gavin Floyd, taken off the plate. You might hear in the background at 70 degrees. It was supposed to reach 83 today, but
not going to make it, I don't think.
No, not with this overcast, and we've got a front coming in tonight. It's not going to be fun for tomorrow. It's going to be cold and very wet. Outfield slightly to the left, and here at beautiful Camelback Ranch, Glendale. There's the strike. 345 down the lines, 380 in the gaps, and 410 dead away center.
I want to check everybody's wife. I'm going to check that shit out. Everybody's wife.
There's a chopper, base hit. There's the old Baltimore chop here in Arizona.
And that's also what happens here, and one of the reasons why batting average is so high in spring training is because of the lack of rain, the infields are rock hard. And this ball hitting in front of the plate and takes that high hop. No chance for anybody to get this one as it skips out into right field. So Gavin in the stretch right away, and that's something that he worked on last year, holding base runners.
Well, his record a little deceiving from last season when he was 10-13 with a 4.08 ERA because of the fact he pitched. He had his tough times, but he pitched some real good ball games that he did not get the decision in, and he had some games that he left with the lead and the bullpen couldn't hold it. Gavin, as I mentioned, a big guy, 6'6", 240 pounds. Jesus takes the strike. My former partner, God rest his soul, Don Drysdale. Well, I'll tell you what, he absolutely, that was one of his big pet peeves, was guys who said they could not use the slide step.
When you don't use the side step, you give up 90 feet. Especially with Velez, who's got very good speed at first. But you've got to work at it. I mean, there's guys who expect that they're going to be able to use it simply because they're pitchers. But realistically, that high leg kick and slide step are two extremely different deliveries, and you can't be losing 2 or 3 miles an hour on your fastball or a little break on your breaking ball when you go to the slide step, or the stolen base is not going to matter because they're going to kill you.
Well, from a hitting standpoint, the guys who had the slide step and then the guys who had the high leg kick and used them both to vary it up made it a little tougher on the hitter. Because when that guy used that slide step, all of a sudden, as a hitter, you're looking for that fastball. If he threw anything off speed, you're in trouble. Outfield straight up, spread out. Part of Jesus.
Jesus doesn't have much power, has a good spring, good pedigree. His dad coaches for the Cubs and was the principal in the Larry Boa deal that helped win a 1984 division championship for the Cubs.
One thing about it, I don't care what step you're using, you still got to get the hitter.
Well, we'll see if Don Mattingly does what a lot of managers will do with a couple of speed guys, and Velez and DeJesus are that, is use the hit and run at 2-1. It's also a good time for Gavin to use his best move at first.
There goes the runner. Nice throw. He gone. Right on the money by Ramon.
But they did use the hit and run. DeJesus did not get the sign because Velez is hung out to dry. Good, solid throw by Castro. That throw's right there.
Well, he got a jump like it was the hit and run.
Yeah, he just waited, and DeJesus didn't even offer it that fastball low and away.
3-1 pitch. And there's a chopper, Brent. And out number 2. So 2 down. That'll bring up Andre Ethier, 28-year-old outfielder who's one of the big fan favorites among the Dodger nation. Ethier last year hit .292, 23 homers, and drove in 82.
He's gotten better and better. Those numbers last year were a little down from the year before, but this is a guy that can play either corner, play it very well. Not one of the better deals for Billy Beane and those Oaklands, as they gave away Ethier early in his career, and he's turned into a terrific player.
0-1 the count. Little movement, turned it over, and the count evens at 1.
Ethier's got pretty decent power to all fields. Although Alex Rios is playing him a step and a half to pull.
Pretty good curveball right there.
I think you're not looking as much for results as you are for the break of the pitch, and Gavin has to be happy with the break of this one. It's quick, it does break down and in, but that's real good rotation.
Little soft comebacker, snabbed, and that'll do it. Nothing across, and after a half inning of play, it's the Dodgers nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
Ozzie is going to line him up today as we move just inside of 2 weeks for spring training. It's Pierre, Beckham, and Dunn, the DH today, with Paulie at first, then Alex, Carlos, Castro behind the plate, with Morel and Vizquel lining it up. The Dodger defense. Left to right, Gibbons, Kemp, and Ethier in the infield. Velez, Castro, DeJesus, and Loney. Deandre Navarro behind the plate, and John Eli on the hill. You might remember Navarro from his days with Tampa Bay, and Eli from his days with the White Sox. There's some pretty good spring numbers. Has yet to throw a home run, which is an accomplishment in the spring.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As Juan Pierre will lead things off. Velez well in on the grass at third. Outfield, they're spread out, a little short, and slightly to the left. "24-year-old right-hander John Eli out of Harvey, Illinois. And there's a nice little base hit. So a good way to start. And right now, let's check out today's Dodge picks to click. Skip Ellison, our director today in the crew, they went with Dunn. Stone Pony's going with Beckham. And Joe Colello and I, we're going to go with Ramon Castro. And for more information on our entire vehicle lineup, log on to Dodge.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Dodge dealer today. Want to know the count to Beckham.
Gordon's had a very solid spring, putting on 10 pounds of muscle, and it shows. He's hit the ball with authority.
He just missed that one. That is a 1/32 of an inch from being a two-run homer. One out. So here's the big man, Adam Dunn, 6'6", 285 pounds. Adam hitting at 244 on the spring with a homer, and he's driven in 3. Chops that one foul over into our dugout. Adam, been watching him in early batting practice, really starting to come around. He and Greg Walker have been working on a very important aspect that's not talked about enough in hitting, and that's balance. That was one reason that Paulie had such a big year last season. That's the best balance I've ever seen him for a whole year.
He did everything right last year. That was just a magnificent season, and it didn't hurt that it was in his option year, but it's nice to see him back in a Sox uniform.
I believe it. Big time. Big hack.
Adam Dunn spent his entire career in the National League, so you can understand. They have an extensive book on him, and that book says, if you're going to throw a fastball, throw it high. Because if you throw it down, he will lose it.
As he gets him. So 2 out, and that'll bring up Paulie. But, talking about Paulie being in the Sox uniform again, most clubs, after this a season is over, most clubs have 3 roads that they're going to take. The one road is they're going to go young, which means cutting payroll. The next road, the middle road, is going to be they're going to sign a few guys to try to encourage their fans to go out and buy season tickets. And the other road, which not many clubs take, is they go all in, as the Sox did this year.
Well, look, they had a couple of very important free agents that for a while it looked like it wouldn't get done, and bringing A.J. back and bringing Paulie back started it, and then you add Dunn to the mix.
And Crane.
And Jesse Crane to help that bullpen.
There goes one, and he is safe. Jerry was not going to take, Reinsdorf was not going to take the middle road. It was either or for him. It was either going young or going all in. And I love that.
Well, I think he took
expression.
I think he took a look at a couple of different things. Number one, there are some problems in Minnesota with Nathan coming back and Morneau still very iffy as to what he can do. And he took a look at this ball club, and he pretty much threw it in the hands of the fans. I'm going to spend a great deal of money on this team. Now come out and see it.
There's Paulie doing what he does very well, knocking in a run. And the Sox lead at 1-0.
Just watching that is one of the big reasons why Paul Konerko is a prolific run producer. He's not trying to pull this ball. It's a little slider. He just takes it right down the line, doesn't overswing, and if you can do that, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Well, last year, Paulie had his legs under control, as I mentioned earlier, as well as I've ever seen him. You can't have balance unless you know what you're doing with your legs. Same way in pitching.
So where you try to keep all of your weight over your back leg, hitting is very similar. You can't jump out as a hitter and then hit anything off speed or anything breaking.
If you can, we got a scoop. Alex hitting 270, 3 homers, and he's knocked in 11 this spring. Checks it up, fouls it away. Yeah, if you're a right-handed hitter and you don't have good balance, you cannot go to right field effectively. Outfield, they're straight up and very much spread out. He hung it, and that's going to fall. So here comes Paulie. He'll score. Ball gets away, and Alex will move into second base, and the Sox lead it 2-0.
Just a rolling breaking ball. Alex doesn't hit it very hard, and between Kemp and Gibbons, they don't do a very good job of getting to this one.
So here's Carlos. Quinn hitting at 250. Couple of homers, he's driven in 8. He was all over it, just underneath it. I love to watch Carlos when he is in that mode that he was in on that swing. That back shoulder going towards right center field.
We saw him hit some bombs to right center last year. And in our ballpark, you get it up in the air most days, it's going out.
And there's a base hit. Alex is going to score. And it's a 3 spot on the board.
Well, this is pretty much the type of offense that Kenny Williams and Ozzie expect out of the middle of that lineup. Runs batted in consecutively for Paul, Alex, and Carlos.
So here's Castro. Ramon hitting at 182 with a homer and 5 RBIs on the spring. Takes a strike on the outside corner. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for their guys here in the bottom of the first if you're just tuning in. And the count 0-2.
Eli had a tough year last year at Albuquerque. ERA 6.22. In the big leagues, 4-10 with a 5.49 ERA.
There goes Carlos. And he's gone. And the Sox come up with 3, and after 1, it is 3-0 White Sox. Three 3-0 Sox here in the top of the second inning, and joining us in the booth right now is a man who has done a job. There have been 9 commissioners in the history of baseball. I've been through 7 of them. And this by far is the best. Bud Selig. Bud, thanks for the time. Thanks.
Hawk, nice to see you. Pleasure.
Hi,
Steve.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Oh, my pleasure to be here.
Well, Bud, last year the economy in the country was not good in baseball. Did a great job.
Well, thank you, Hawk. You know, it's amazing. The last 6 years have been the 6 greatest years in baseball attendance. Last year was virtually the same as the year before. And when you think, as you just properly said, the economy was really bad, and I was really concerned, and we came through with flying colors. And this year, I'm happy to tell you that our business, the 30 clubs, is up, well, 6 to 8% right now, which is the best we've had. We're going to have a huge year this year.
Well, you got a great product, and you market it terrific. And when that happens, it just seems like, to me, as long as you and I both have been in this game.
Right.
This is my, 52nd year in it, and I've never seen the excitement of the fans at a higher level.
You bet. There's no question about it. It really fascinates me. I monitor ticket sales, during the winter, because that's a great barometer, clearly. And I'm seeing things that, frankly, we haven't seen for 5 or 7 years now. So that's well before the economic downturn, which is the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. And we shouldn't forget that. That's how well baseball has done in that environment.
Bud, you've got a brand new ballpark on Indian Bend, Talking Stick. You've got both the Diamondbacks in Colorado here. It's beautiful. The Cubs are staying here in Arizona. And I know you've seen the new ballpark a number of times, but that's really spurred attendance in that area.
Boy, has it ever. Near my house, so I know how well. Jerry said to me a couple weeks ago, you got to come out and see me one of these days. And I said, well, I got one just about 8 minutes from me, and it's pretty convenient. But I'm glad. But it has been terrific. You know what's interesting, guys? Years ago, when we first got a team back in 1970, and for maybe 20 years after that, there was always a doubt whether Arizona was going to survive, and could we keep a number of teams, and could they support it. here we are, 15 and 15, perfect numbers. And I was reading today about some of the road trips in Florida that the Cardinals were going on, and they were sending Albert Pujols, and the rides were 2.5 hours, which you guys remember. I mean, that's
sometimes a little longer than that.
Sometimes a little
living on Alligator Alley.
That's right. So this has worked out really well here, and yet you have 15 in Florida, so it's worked out great for both states.
I think our longest road trip last year here was 19 miles.
Yeah, that's about it.
It makes it so much better. I've always been a Florida guy because when I played with Cleveland, I had spring training in Tucson,
right,
and I had trouble sweating. But I'll tell you, last year here, Tucson and Phoenix are just two entirely different scenarios.
Oh, yes, they are. No question about it.
Last year here was absolutely the greatest weather I have ever seen for spring training.
And it's been great this year.
Yeah. Now, we're going to have a bad night tonight and possibly tomorrow but it's only going to be for one day.
Yeah, and when they tell you rain, as Steve knows, because we're here all winter long, aren't we, Stevie?
It's
now, you know what? You get 9 drops in the morning, and maybe you get 6 drops in the afternoon, and I then say, what the hell happened to all the rain they were talking about? This is it? And then most people say, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but they get very excited on the weather forecast, though. When they
I'm a weather freak from having run the Brewers all those years, where weather was a challenge in Milwaukee, as you both remember all too well. And so I watch the Weather Channel. Now they're saying mostly cloudy tonight, and then tomorrow showers and rain. I'm leaving tomorrow, so by 9 o'clock, I'll leave the rest of the day to you, Hawk.
Well, that was no. Stay with us another half.
I will.
Okay. We'll be back. 3-0 good guys. Bottom of the second inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for their guys. And once again, joining us in the booth for this half inning is the Commissioner of Baseball, Mr. Had about 30 different agendas.
You bet.
And there was a definite disparity, so to speak, as far as large market, middle market, and small market. Yeah. And look at what happened in the World Series last year. I mean, I loved it.
I'm proud of it. Back when I took over, it's a long time ago now, guys, 19 years ago, so hard to believe.
Yeah, it is.
And owners hated owners. Owners popping off talking about other owners. Owners ripping the Players Association. Players Association ripping owners. Everybody ripping the commissioners in those days. And I said to myself, we're going to have to clean this up. The sport has been stuck in neutral for 2 or 3 decades. You don't hear any of that stuff anymore. Now we have 16 years of labor peace. Sports never been more popular. And you're right. You look at, people will always talk about other sports, particularly football, having more parity or competitive balance, as I call it. Baseball has more than any other sport by far.
Sure.
And so you're right. Last year, Texas plays the Giants in the World Series.
But what I love, Bud, is what you said about the 16 years of labor peace, because Hawk and I both were around when they were shutting the game down with lockouts, with strikes, and you had 1994, which was a disaster without a World Series. And with the economy the way it is and the competition for the sports dollar or the discretionary spending, we can't afford another shutdown.
No, you're right. Look, Steve, Hawk, one of the things I've told people is we look back, and I've been in the sports since 1970, and actually for 4 or 5 years even before that. I don't think people understood how terrible it was that we were being shut down every 2 or 3 years, but even in the intervening 2 or 3 years, that was all the talk. Ripping your own players. It was bad. It hurt the sport. To give you, when I took over and I really realized, I'll let you describe the action here.
Don't worry about that. A Castro strikeout's not going to change the world.
All right, well, that's good. We'll just move right on there. I could see that the sport had been stuck in neutral. Our gross revenues were about $1.2 billion. And I was worried about that. It's just things that happen, and someday when I write a book, I guess I'll spend a lot of time talking. This year, guys, we'll do $7.5 billion and growing. And one of the primary, if not the primary, there are a lot of them, is labor peace. We concentrate on doing what we do with the sport. And that's what you have to do. And so I'm pleased, and so when you were talking before, Hawk, about the interest, that's why, because at least we concentrate on it's the greatest game in the world, and we can now concentrate on it.
And you can now say it with a lot of confidence because of that. And the thing, during that period you're talking about, there was so much negativity.
Yes.
And when that prevails, of course, the fans are going to have a little different look. And then all of a sudden you had, prior to that just a little bit, you had free agency where players were starting to make a lot of money.
You bet.
And so that was another, at that point, the point negative. And now all of a sudden, also when you came in, there were only like 4 or 5 clubs making money.
That's right.
Now everybody's making money in this sport. So it's been something of everything was positive in that way with the peace, the labor peace that you're talking about. All the stuff that comes out of the commissioner's office, all the stuff that comes out of the local club's office is a positive thing.
Of course it is, and that's exactly the point. You throw new ballparks in, a lot of the marketing. You talked about revenue sharing. And one thing I always tell the clubs, and I really believe this, it's our job, my job in particular, to provide hope and faith in as many places as possible. They're not all going to win, but at least I want them to believe they have a chance.
Well, the wild card speaks to that, and there's a lot of people who were very much against that. I
was just going to say, back in '93 and '4, when I put the wild card in, that guy's ruining the game.
Yes.
What's he doing?
The purist.
I tell Bob Costa that all the time. Didn't work out too badly, Bobby, did it, huh?
Bud, thanks, buddy.
Pleasure to
Always.
see you. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Bud Selig. Yeah, we'll be back. Deoner Navarro will lead it off here in the top of the third. Sox lead at 3-0. Sox with 3 runs in the bottom of the first. And it was really nice to have the commissioner stop in for an inning like that. I tell you, he's just done an unbelievable job in his time here.
I feel the same way. And
well, it's been fashionable, as you and I both know, Stone Pony. It's been fashionable to knock Bud. It's been fashionable for a lot of people to rip him because, you know, but meanwhile, you brought up the thing of the wild card, and I'm hoping he adds maybe another.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
But he's done so much. He's brought the game back to where it should be, the national pastime. And joining us now is our commissioner down in that dugout, the manager of our ball club, Ozzie Guillen. And Ozzie, thanks for the time, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Ozzie, you got some bad news. They're not devastating, but about Jake Peavy this afternoon.
Well, we have a plan B before spring training starts just in case this happened. And you know what I mean? We talked about this morning. It was a kind of sad situation because, you know, the way he was throwing the ball, everybody was excited. But every comment I was making, it was a process. Like we had a day, you know what I mean, every start, they got to weigh in, day out, day in, day out. And you got to miss a couple stars, and hopefully, you know no miss more than that.
Well, that certainly is a thing that I know you've been talking about. That there's something did happen of this nature, that you did have Plan B, and I think the expectations may have been a little too high that he might join the club after that big surgery he had.
Well, we you know what I mean, be honest with you, since I got here, I know back in the mind we have to be prepared for this moment. And the good thing about it, he had a lot of progress. He pitched very well when he was on the mound, and maybe a setback. We expect that. I'd rather have the setback, you know what I mean, right now in this particular moment during the season.
Well, Ozzie, you like your ball club, as we talked about last time we had you on, and it's something that there have been a lot of guys that have impressed you this spring. One of them being Lasting's Millage.
Well, you know, they play pretty well. They make it very tough for the coaching staff and myself and the front office to make this ball club, the 25 guys. I think they play very well. The outfield, the Lillibrecht and Millage, they step it up very, very good. Humbert's on the ball very well. It's a pretty nice surprise. I think Morel's playing pretty good. But, you know, so far it's been great. I mean, I think everybody's healthy besides PV, but everybody's throwing the ball pretty good. And I'm very excited by where we are right now.
Ozzie, you announced after the game yesterday that Matt Thornton was going to be the closer. That means Sale will be the setup man. And as far as number 5, if Jake isn't ready, would that be Humber?
Well, we talk about Humber. Marquez is on the mix. Also, Marquez on the ball well. Maybe Pena is going to take that spot. But we wait and see. We all know that 8 games and 9 games around here to decide. I think Humber's on the ball very good. There's a few guys in the mix. Now we have to go to Plan B, the one we have in the past. Now we have to move on and try to make the thing the quickest we can.
Well, I like what you said about making Thornton the closer because of the fact that this is a lot of people don't realize this is Chris Sale's first spring training, and it's out here in Arizona, and maybe that slider is not quite as sharp as it will be when we get back home. And you take the pressure off of him.
I think that, you know, this kid, we try to carry, you know, we're excited about his arm, the way he pitched last year, but I cannot sit in here and think about last year. Last year is already gone. I had to see who threw the ball the best, who has the best stuff and mentally prepared. I think Matt Thornton earned the spot. He did it before. I think the way we're using, I think, is like one of the best pitchers in the game right now. And be honest with you, I mean, I have 3 or 4 guys there that can take the role when you know, Matt need a day off. And I mean, I think that's the best guy. We picked the best guy to handle that job.
Well, Ozzie, you're going to have a very strong bullpen. Sergio coming off his first full year in the major leagues, and you added Jesse Crane. You got to feel real good about the pen.
There's one thing about it. I think our bullpen is going to be good the way our starting rotation is. Is starting rotation go the way we think they can go, or bullpen is going to be strong. Everything starts with the starting guys, and hopefully those guys do that.
Well, Ozzie, you have never been a guy who went out and wanted you to play your guys and win every spring training game. Your record in spring training, it proves that. Meanwhile, when the season comes, you've already won in your 7 years 600 games. But You like to see what guys can do in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning in these spring training games.
I love to see the kids playing, and that's everybody out there. So I don't worry. I don't see any manager get a raise or extend the contract and win pin a raise in spring training. My job is try to see everybody, get everybody opportunity, a chance to see what they have, and we go for it. And my thing started in April 1st when they, against Cleveland. Besides that, it's no matter where where you are in spring training, as long as everybody's left healthy. I got a chance to see a lot of kids. I give everybody opportunity to show our coaching staff and Kenny and Rick what we have in the minor league, what we have for the future, and that's all it counts. A lot of people kind of worry about it and see what we have, right now, and I'm very happy what we have.
There's the bunt by Eli. Morrell barehands it up with it. Over to Beckham covering. So the sacrifice, 1 out, Ducks on the pond. Well, I like, Stoney, I don't know if I told you this, Ozzie, after we started off 0-3, lost the first 3 games, and we won the 4th, and I came out to the ballpark. Ozzie looks at me, he said, that's the 5th most important game I've ever won in my career. He said the 4 World Series game and that one yesterday.
Well, it's just funny because, we want to show people in Chicago, and we want to play good for the people out there, but in the meanwhile, I think fans in Chicago should be excited, and one thing about myself, I never go to lie to the fans. I'm going to tell us I got a great product out there when we don't. I think Kenny and Rick and Jerry and everybody in the front office did a tremendous job to put this thing together, and it's our job to make those guys play and play the right way. Hopefully we'll do that.
There's a little broken bat single as Navarro scores, and it's a 3-1 ball game. Well, Ozzie, I want to thank you for the time, buddy, and keep them going. Let's get ready for April 1st.
Tell the commissioner I don't have that much money to keep paying a lot of fine. Say hi to your wife. Okay. You're all nice. I wish I had my wife next to me.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
So, guys.
I tell you what, Ozzie, people are always asking me about Ozzie. In fact, that's the first question that they will say, is Ozzie really like he seems? And I said, the way you perceive him, that's the way he is.
Exactly.
And he has been that way since he was a rookie here in 1984. Meanwhile, we got to get out of this jam here. As here's to Jesus. Doing a good job right there. Taking that pitch inside, outing it, getting the sacrifice fly, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Jesus last year at Albuquerque hit .296, 7 homers, but he drove in 70. But a lot of that knowledge coming from his dad.
Well, if you're going to hit, you're going to hit in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
You could still hit in Albuquerque. That is a terrible place to pitch and a wonderful place to swing the bat.
I'll tell you what, Albuquerque, they had possibly a couple of the greatest minor league teams in the history of baseball there. Back in the 70s when they had Garvey and all those kids. Say.
Garvey, Say.
Tom Paciorek.
Played against them coming
Russell.
up through Bakersfield and then Albuquerque.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the best, if not the best, couple of teams ever in the minor leagues.
But what they did a great job of was trading you the next great first baseman. It was never Garvey. It was always Greg Brock and Franklin Stubbs and Mike Marshall to a certain extent. They were off Albuquerque statistics, and they were the next great first baseman. Meanwhile, you got them, and they never turned out to be Steve Garvey.
Well, there are not too many Buzzies around at that today, like he was there, and also John Schuerholz made some great deals down in Atlanta.
He did that.
Ethier takes it outside in the count 1-1. Boy, what a tandem that was. John Schuerholz, Bobby Cox, 2 Hall of Famers, 14 consecutive divisional titles. Somebody's going to have to go something to top that.
Well, Bobby set things up. He was doing both jobs, and they brought John in from Kansas City by way of Baltimore. He learned his baseball with the Orioles, like so many front office executives did. And then John went to Kansas City, did a nice job there, and did just a great job in Atlanta.
Oh, boy. 2-1 with 2 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. And there's a little shank that's going to fall.
Inside fastball. Ethier pulls the hands in and just able to muscle it out into left field. That's what makes him as good a hitter as he's been his entire career. His ability to take the inside pitch, not break the bat, and just kind of guide it into left field. There are a lot of teams in the offseason always inquiring about Matt Kemp. He probably is best suited to play right field. He's got a right fielder's arm. He plays center, plays very deep, doesn't take particularly good routes to the ball, but he can swing the bat.
That's out of play right side. Kemp last year, 28 homers, knocked in 89.
Going to strike out a whole lot, but he's going to be very productive.
Just 26 years old. Big gap out there in left center. Chops that foul, and we'll give you a little more information on the announcement that they made on Jake Peavy. The medical update says after Jake's successful outing yesterday in Phoenix, he acquired excess discomfort that appears to be in the rotator cuff. It appears to be rotator cuff tendonitis. White Sox are treating the symptoms for the next 24 to 48 hours to see if the discomfort can be controlled with treatment and medicine. Jake will be evaluated again in the next 24 to 48 hours. And it says the discomfort is separate from last year's surgical procedure. As that's up high. Well, one thing about it, he worked his behind off in that rehab, and that is no fun, as I'm sure you've done it.
You have to. You have to work exceptionally hard, and he came back very quickly. But unfortunately, he's hit a bit of a roadblock. Hopefully it won't be long.
There's a high inside curveball. 2 out, 2 on, 3-2 the count. Nice crowd on hand this afternoon on an overcast day. First one we've had in quite a while. There they go. He gone. But they come up with a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It is 3-2 White Sox. Don Healy completing his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order for our Sox. Pierre, Beckham, and Dunn. 3-4-0 for our guys. 2-5-0 for their guys. And while we have a moment, I want to send out a big White Sox hello to Matt McEntee and Don Uremi at the Golf Club of Scottsdale. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. As there's a strike, Pierre started off that 3-run first inning with a single, then a stolen base.
Talked to Juan, and he doesn't really care how short that third baseman plays or where the first baseman plays. He feels that if he gets the bunt down where he wants to get it down, he can still beat the play at first. That one fouled it off.
Well, the Sox had a manager that was one of the best at that I've ever seen. Third baseman coming in, I'm talking about in a big spot. And that was Jim Fregosi. Pulled the string on him, and that's out number one. Jimmy said that he used to love to see that guy come in. A lot of people forget
he was pretty good hitter.
Fregosi could run.
Well, he was also a pretty good hitter.
He was a good player. And a good manager.
And has proven to be a pretty good scout for those Braves over the years. Pretty good assistant and a good evaluator, and they don't do a whole lot without getting Jimmy's input down there in Atlanta.
Here's Beckham. He's 0 for 1. He just missed hitting on him way out of here. High, towering pop-up to left. Three and 0 the count. There's a strike. And a reminder, all fans, that April 8th, 9th, and 10th White Sox games against the Tampa Bay Rays will receive a White Sox magnetic schedule, compliments of Pepsi. Get tickets today by visiting thewhitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. High and deep into center field.
A normal day here, that would have been trouble. But today, with no wind at all, Kemp easily able to coast back about 390 feet and make the catch.
Here's Dunn. Struck out on a couple of high fastballs his first trip. And takes strike one. Very quickly, the count 0-2.
They've got DeJesus way back on the grass in right field. Loney hugging the line. And Castro on the first base side of second. Much like a Jim Thome shift.
Two out in the 1-2 pitch. A 1-2-3 inning for Ely. And we'll go to the fourth. 3-2 Sox. James Loney will lead it off here in the top of the 4th inning. Sox with 3 in the first, Dodgers 2 in the third. Curveball down and in. Little backdoor job right there.
Well, he's never really produced the power that you would associate with that first base position. But he's an excellent defender and a pretty decent line drive hitter.
Drove in 88 runs last year. Yes. Vizquel's got him. 1 out. And a reminder, you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2011 season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. The more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
We remember Gibbons from his days with the Baltimore Orioles, where he occasionally flashed some power. He's resurrected his career here with the Dodgers.
Takes a backdoor curveball. Strike.
Loves the fastball middle in and has some problems with the breaking.
Broken bat. And Gordon.
Tremendous vertical leap. About 4 feet.
It works. I'd like to buy some lumber from you.
We're very optimistic people, yeah.
So here's Navarro. No, Gordon's had himself a good spring. He's a very confident young man. And he's got a chance to be the face of this franchise for a long time. That curveball low and in.
Navarro gave us some problems when he was with Tampa Bay. Switch hitting catcher.
He looked, against us, he looked real good.
He looked terrific at times. Last year really struggled, so much so that they sent him down to AAA. And here he is with the Dodgers.
Chopper 2 hopper. Nice easy inning right there. Good play by Beckham. And he completed 3.5, leading by 1. Three-two good guys, bottom of the 4th. And a reminder, enjoy White Sox Car flags presented by U.S. Cellular on Thursday, April 7th against the Tampa Bay Rays. U.S. Cellular, believe in something better. White Sox car flags. Paul Konerko will start it off. Also on I tell you, this is just such a lovely area out here. Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, all the surrounding spots, and so many great restaurants. That's, you know, the best Greek restaurant, and to me, in the country is in Chicago at Greek Islands. Well, Harris and I have found the second best in the country. Out on Scottsdale Road in Mayo, just off Scottsdale Road, called Athena. And it is something. Johnny Salibi and Petros Kampouris, they do a great job.
As long as they have good lamb, I'm there.
I tell you, it is outstanding. Outstanding. We go over there almost every afternoon for appetizers. The other day they had complimentary lamb balls and complimentary lamb chops. Here's Paulie. Paulie had a nice double. RBI and a run scored back in the first inning. Paulie now with 7 RBIs on the spring, hitting close to 300.
This is part of the order that did the damage in the first inning. 3 straight hits from Konerko, Rios, and Quentin.
Went right through it, and the count 2-1. Right on the outside corner. Nice pitcher's pitch right there. Paulie. 2-1 count. That'll work.
Yeah, Navarro wants it away. He gets it right at the knees on the outside corner.
Paulie last year, 312, 39 homers, 111 knocked in. And the payoff.
Looked like a straight change.
Yep.
That pulled well out in front of it. It's a great pitch at 3-2. If you can get it over the plate and give the confidence enough to throw it, a hitter can't be looking for it. And you saw it just kind of dropped off. And Paul had well out in front of it, had fastball on his mind.
That's what happens in the major leagues. A lot of those fastballs turn into changeups. As here's Alex. There's a shot. Alex 2 for 2. He also singled and scored last inning.
That's a fastball up and out over the plate. And when you don't throw all that hard, you want to keep it that high to a right-hander. Alex just reached out and ripped it and took advantage of Gibbons going away from the throw and coasted into second base.
Here's Quentin. Well, Alex this morning over in the backfield taking batting practice put a little showtime on. It was an awesome display.
Well, perhaps this year hitting 5th is going to give him an opportunity to drive in some more runs. We know he played a terrific center field last year.
I've always in my case, when I played, most of the time I hit 4th, and I have gone to several. I went to several managers and asked them, told them I'd rather hit 5th.
5th is a big run-producing spot.
All speed. Well out in front. Outfield straight up, spread out. Well, Carlos, pick him up. Three runs on 5 hits, no errors for our Sox. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for their Dodgers. Both these teams, they share this beautiful complex here. It's a tremendous facility.
If you can't get your work done here with all of the fields and half fields, you're not going to be able to get it done anywhere.
Especially with no travel time, virtually no travel time.
Very little travel time, terrific weather, and outstanding facilities.
Well, I've changed my mind. As I said, I told Bud, I was always a Florida guy. You can't beat this. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this right here.
Well, just the time you save on travel is so completely different. You know, you send guys on trips just across Florida. You're taking 5 to 7 hours at times just on a bus.
Well, it just gets to you mentally. And you get to the point you don't even want to make a trip. And you'll tell your manager, look, I'll do anything you want. I'll play every morning in the B games, but I don't want to make that trip down to West Palm. Or I don't want to make that trip down to, Miami.
Well, when I played for the Sox the first time, Roland Heeman was the general manager, and we'll get to something that involves Roland a little later on, but we made a trip to Fort Lauderdale to play the Yankees. Got back at 3:30 in the morning. Roland met the bus and told Royal Stillman that he was being released. 3:30 in the morning. he couldn't release him before the trip. He released him after the trip.
There's a nice play by Velez. Ball hit hard by Carlos, and that's out number 2.
But I give Roland a lot of credit because he was there at 3:30 to tell him.
Not too many better personalities in the game than Roland Heeman.
Terrific. And we'll talk about an award named after him. And, of course, he was accorded a wonderful award. This particular year, what an icon of the game.
That's into right field. And that'll retire the side. Sox sweating, can't score. Still lead it 3-2.
The man to my immediate left is Billy Pierce, no stranger to all of you Sox fans out there. And last year he was accorded the 2010 Roland Heeman Award. And Billy, it's great to see you down here. Hope you're doing okay.
It's wonderful. It's a beautiful ballpark.
It's a gorgeous ballpark on a hard hit ball to second. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And Stephen Rosen, Dr. Stephen Rosen from Northwestern University, the director of the Robert H. Lurie Comprehensive Cancer Center for Northwestern. It's nice to see you here, Doctor.
Thank you so much. It's a perfect afternoon.
Oh, it's a great afternoon. And, we're talking about the Chicago Baseball Cancers Charity. Started in 1971. Raised over $11 million. And something that I'm sure is very dear to both of your hearts.
It is. It's fantastic. I mean, it started way back then, and it's been progressing ever since. We've been very happy to be able to give money for cancer care and research to Northwestern and Children's Memorial Hospitals.
Billy is very modest, but not only was he a great athlete, but this is a remarkable humanitarian. And he's been responsible for bringing so many resources to our institution. Our hospitals are Northwestern Memorial, Children's Memorial, and the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago. And they've all benefited from his efforts.
Well, we think the world of Billy Pierce. White Sox fans obviously do the same. He was not only a terrific person who represented baseball exceptionally well, but he was a wonderful pitcher.
Yeah.
We had good days and bad days, Steve.
Well,
as you know how baseball is.
Everybody has good days and bad days. But you had many more good ones than bad ones, Billy. As your face out on the outfield wall at U.S. Cellular Field would indicate, you were one of the men for the White Sox during the course of your career.
I think the most fantastic thing about that picture is that when the catch was made on Burley's perfect ball game, right on my face.
Dwayne Wise will be very happy to hear that.
A great play.
As he moves along in his career. But that catch will live on in White Sox history because he just came in as a defensive replacement and went up on the wall and brought that ball in. And Hawk and I both looked at it and we couldn't believe that he hung on to it after bobbling it 3 or 4 times.
Right. Well, he made Ozzie look like a genius bringing him in for defense.
And that's a tough thing to do.
Yes.
Well, the award that you got celebrates the character and kindness of Roland Heeman, and he's one of my dear friends. He was a general manager with the White Sox when I got there in 1973. He still is in baseball all of these years later. What a wonderful man Roland is.
Roland is probably one of the very few people that are friendly with the owners, friendly with the general managers, and also respected by the players. There's very few people that can fit into everything like Roland.
And now he's working with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he has a home out here. And he's a guy that, as long as he is with us, he should be in baseball, because as far as goodwill ambassadors and men who know the game and basically is the history of the game all wrapped into one, Roland's the guy.
He fits perfect, without a question, Steve.
We've got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Sox lead 3-2. And Gavin Floyd is rolling right along. And Dr. Rosen, how are things these days at Northwestern and Children's Hospital, which is I visited a number of times, and it's just a wonderful place with what you do with the kids.
We're blessed with the most phenomenal facilities. We have incredibly talented physicians, scientists, and nurses, and the advances that have occurred in the last decade have just been astronomical.
Well, Steve, this man, Dr. Steve Rosen, he's one of the ones that care for people. It's like you think a doctor you want to be. If somebody's injured, he will follow through with their thing. He just doesn't leave them.
That's going to end the inning. And so, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And ChicagoBaseball.org is the website.
That's right. That's right.
It's good to see both of you, and thanks again for stopping by.
Steve, enjoyed it.
Billy, a pleasure. Dr. Rosen, a pleasure to see you. And we'll be back.
There you see the 500th person to text Subway to 97999 will get $5 foot-long subs. Subway, eat fresh.
Got a couple of changes we'll tell you about for the Dodgers, and that's what happens as we move along in spring training. Is about halfway through the game, the guys with the 80s on their backs show up. And for the most part, those are the guys that are ticketed for the minor leagues.
Brent Morrell will lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th. Brent started off a little slow with the bat, now starting to get it heated up. Martinez had a good spring. The ball hit well to the right side. That's what you like to see Brent try to do there. Don't get greedy. Go right with the pitch.
When he's had his luck this spring, it's been, for the most part, to right center field. But he hit it to the wrong guy because Loney doesn't miss much down there.
Well, Brent's going to be a heck of a player.
I think he's going to be terrific.
Heck of a player.
And I think defensively, he's just going to get better and better, and he's very good now.
Well, you had your guess. But that play he made to end the top of the 5th inning was a heck of a play because that ball had a lot of top spin on it and was hit hard.
Well, with the configuration of our pitching staff, you need a guy at third who's going to be able to pick it and have pretty good mobility, and I think that Morrell falls into that category. Along with Ramirez, it's going to be a pretty solid left side defensively, and when you have left-handers who cut the ball and throw change-ups and sinker-balling right-handers, you're going to have that on the left side.
Well, to coin an old baseball adage, you need Mr. Hoover down there.
We've got Elian Herrera, who checked in, as well as Jaime Pedroza. And Herrera is at third and Pedroza is at short.
And Vizquel has a 2-2 count.
Numbers 87 and 89. Not to be confused with number 91 and 96. Or 92 and 93, who are also here.
That's into right field. So 2 down. The Dodgers, a long time ago, at one time had over 30 minor league teams.
I think wasn't it the Dodgers and the Yankees that had the most minor league teams of anybody?
Dodgers, yeah. And then when I signed in 1959, they had 26.
So you had to really play to get up through their minor league system.
They had three guys at first base in AAA. That all 3 of them played in the big leagues. Jim Gentile was one of them. Juan Pierre. Juan has singled and scored. He's 1 for 2. Fastball up high. He's just turning in Sox with 3 in the first. Dodgers 2 in the third. That used to be funny when you go down to play the Dodgers at their complex at Vero Beach, and you'd see guys. You're talking about the numbers. You see guys walking around with 171C, 282B. They had all the players down.
Well, they had in those days a D league, a C league, a B league, and 2 or 3 A leagues. Sometimes more than that with rookie leagues and all of those things. Speaking of Vero Beach, Tommy Lasorda wandering around the ballpark for the game today.
The ball poked out there in left center field. Long way, they're not going to get it. Juan now's going to turn it on. And here's the throw. He is in there with a triple. I love to watch Juan run.
Well, he was thinking 3 bases all the way. As soon as this ball got over Gibbons' head, Juan Pierre had a pretty good idea that they were going to have no shot at him. And there's one thing that you're going to notice with Juan Pierre, and that is you will never see him not hustle at any time on that baseball field. Also one of the most prolific workers in the game of baseball, which is why he's in such great shape and could steal 68 bags last year.
Gordon's had 2 good at-bats, even though he's 0 for 2. He just missed hitting one out of here, his first trip. And then in the 3rd inning, went out very deep to center.
Well, he's my pick to click. Does a hard hit ball count in that? Not so much?
No.
Well, then he's just going to have to hit this one out of the park then.
Which he's very capable of. .24-year-old right-hander delivers that ball, hit hard into left field, right at him. So another good at bat. Meanwhile, he comes up empty. And we have completed 5. We lead it 3-2. And you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2011 season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. Now, the more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com today. That is the domain of the Bertucci boys. Top of the 6th.
Be nice to see Bobby and Bruno.
It's always nice to see them. Always. Ethier fouls it back. Ethier has bounced back to Gavin. And he had a little broken bat flare single in the left field.
Dodgers traded Milton Bradley and Antonio Perez to Oakland for Andre Ethier. One was back in 2005. Dodgers eternally grateful for that deal.
You betcha. Watch out.
Well, in 09, Ethier hit 31 home runs, drove in 106. It was the only time he's driven in over 100 runs. That was a big year. Last year was nicked up a bit, but still played in 139 games and drove in 82. Just been a good, solid player for the Dodgers.
And here's the 2-2 delivery. Nice pitch right there. Backdoor curveball. Good job by Ethier to stay with it and foul it off.
Evans had a pretty good curveball today.
You don't see many left-handed hitters that'll stay with that. They give up on it. He's had a terrific curveball being this Arizona.
Considering down here, certainly. And nobody up in the bullpen to this point for the Sox, so Gavin's going to be given the full 6. Take a look at Don Cooper.
One of the best in the game right there.
He's worked some miracles with some guys that were high draft picks, in many cases number ones, that their organization for one reason or another couldn't get quite as much out of as they wanted to. And they've come to the Sox, and Don Cooper has worked with them, given them the confidence, given them a couple of tweaks in their motions, and they become not only serviceable but awfully good.
Good example. I came here yesterday just to see the side that Chris Sale was going to have with him. If you stand right there by Coop when he's talking to Sale, I mean, it's really interesting. It really is interesting. And you're talking about some Nintendo stuff. He had some yesterday. I mean, there's a base hit. Right off the end of the bat. Meanwhile, the leadoff man aboard.
That's 2 hits for Ethier. That was a good at bat because he battled, he fought off some tough pitches, finally taking it just by Gordon Beckham. Gordon thought he should have had that one. That would have been a terrific play and a very close play at first, even if he catches it.
So here's Matt Kemp, who's 0 for 2. But besides the mechanics of the thing, there was a little talk of mechanics, not much, in that side session with Sale yesterday. What Coop was primarily working on was trying to build his confidence up, and especially with the change, and especially with the sequence. They went into a lot of sequence talk conversation.
Well, I think Don is as good a psychologist as he is a mechanic, and I think you have to be equal parts of about 3 or 4 different things to be a good pitching coach, depending on what a guy needs on any given day.
That ball hit deep and out of here. A 2-run homer, and the Dodgers now lead it 4-3.
Home run number 4, RBIs 11 and 12 for Matt Kemp, who does strike out a lot on breaking balls, but doesn't miss too many fastballs, and he didn't miss that one. Looked like Gavin tried to sneak a fastball by him, but that one right on the inner third and long gone.
Boy, he did a terrific job getting his hands in. Loney with a ground ball to Beckham. And take another look. Watch how he gets his hands in. It's inside fastball, and he hits it hard and keeps it fair. A lot of guys are going to take that same pitch and kill it. Meanwhile, it's going to be foul. You can see that's right on the inner third. It was a majority of right-handed hitters. That would just been a long, hard strike. As here's Gibbons. But I love coaches and instructors who will allow the guys to use their own mind. And I guess, oh, nice catch. Wow. On a rocket into the seats.
That's why you bring your glove to the park. And he probably saved somebody in back of him a face burger.
That's into left field deep. One back near the track. And that's out number 2. But I like coaches who, it's like almost like method acting. They give you the concept and you take it and run with it. And they let their thoughts dictate the mechanics rather than the mechanics dictate their thoughts. For an example, if you got a sinker ball pitcher and he's having trouble getting his elbow down and leading the ball up, rather than harp on the mechanics, just tell him if you miss low. So all of a sudden, if he does that, then all of a sudden now his elbow automatically goes up.
Don's just a terrific pitching coach. We've seen it for as long as he's been here. He and Kenny have been together seemingly forever.
A long time.
Long time. Kenny has supreme confidence, and he can make some deals that he wouldn't necessarily make if Coop wasn't here.
Better believe it. You ought to hear those two get after each other every now and then. I mean, that's hot and heavy. Over the years, I've seen them have some Lulus. But they both love each other and respect each other. What he did with Matt Thornton, I will never forget. I have never seen anything like that.
Either has Seattle.
He joined us from Seattle in Tucson in spring training, walked in, pitched that day. It was 2-0-3-1 ball 4. Coop took him down to the bullpen, worked with him after the game was over, and since that time, he's been 0-1, 0-2, 1-2.
Well, you don't find too many teams giving up on a number 1 draft choice who's 6'6", left-handed, and throws 97, unless they just can't fix whatever problem he's had.
He gone with the 2-run homer. The 2-run homer by Matt Kemp. Dodgers lead it 4-3. And right now, let's check out our Lincoln Mercury upcoming schedule. Be sure to catch the Sox on WGN-TV and WCIU-TV this year. The first 3 games will be Saturday, April 2nd at Cleveland. That's at 12 noon, Chicago time. Then Friday, April 8th versus Tampa Bay, 7 p.m. over WCIU. And Saturday, April 9th versus Tampa Bay.
There is the difference in the game. Matt Kemp. And Jonathan Broxton comes into the game. Hard throwing right-hander. with a very large body.
Well, they have him listed at 6'4", 295 pounds, out of Augusta, Georgia. Last year, 5-6, 22 saves. A couple of big men going at each other right here. Dunn at 285, Roxon at 295. I don't think I've ever seen that. £20 away from 600.
Yeah, big boys. You don't see it out of the NFL too much.
4-8-0 for the Dodgers, 3-6-0 for our Sox. Sox with 3 runs in the first inning. Dodgers 2 in the third and 2 in the top of this frame.
Ruxin last year, fans 73 and 62 in the third innings, walking just 28. A fairly high ERA for a closer at 4.04.
Outfield straight up and spread out.
A lot of people wonder why in spring training especially you'd take a closer and put him into the game in this case the 6th inning, sometime the 7th inning. And one of the reasons is you want him to face the regular hitters, because that's who he's going to be facing during the season. It makes really no sense to put a closer in to save a game in the 9th inning. He's facing the 3 guys that are all, 91, 92, and 93. In this case, it's Dunn, Konerko, and Rios. It's a hat trick.
Adam now 0 for 3. Well, from a hitting standpoint, as a hitter, you'd rather face the guys you're going to be facing during the season.
Oh, no doubt.
Unless you're trying to make a club. As a rookie, then you'd rather face just second and third line pitching. Here's Paulie. Paulie 1 for 2, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. A lot of times in my time zone, you would have the major league pitcher pitching in a B game.
You didn't want to show.
Exactly.
You didn't want to show anything to his opponents.
You didn't want your pitchers pitching against check the American League hitters. You want to pitch against National League, so they couldn't see him. So a lot of times what I would do, I'd go to the manager. In that situation, I'd ask if I could play in the B game to face their pitcher that I'm going to be facing during the season. Ball hit hard, but just to hang with them.
But with the White Sox, in the 2 times I was there, both in 73 and again in 77, 78, for the young pitchers, if you couldn't beat the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they had some outstanding hitters, you'd face them in Bradenton in the B game at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I mean Dave Parker and Richie Zisk and guys like that. Because they wouldn't go on the trips. They wouldn't want to go across Alligator Alley to go the other side. So at 10 o'clock, you're just getting out of bed and you're facing the heart of a very powerful Pittsburgh lineup. If you couldn't beat the Pirates, you could never make a White Sox team.
There's a strike in the count 1-1 to Alex. Alex is 2 for 2, a single, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Yeah, I remember facing the Houston Astros. We played a lot of games against the Astros. And
they had great arms.
Oh, you kidding me? Playing in a big game facing Larry Durker. First time I faced him, hit me right in the neck.
He threw really hard.
Yeah, and with good movement. He had the closest fastball to Dean Chance that you ever want to see. They look like twins.
Had a guy named Jim Ray and Don Wilson.
Wilson could rush it up there.
And then, of course, James Rodney Richard came along.
Later on.
And he threw unbelievably hard.
Well, he was throwing a 95-mile-an-hour slider up there. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Get on back there. On the track as Kemp hauls it in to the deepest part of the ballpark. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Bronx.
John Gray comes into the game. He'll take over for Jeff Gray, excuse me. Gavin went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 8 hits, didn't walk anybody. He fanned 4, gave up the 2-run homer to Matt Kemp. That's the difference in this 4-3 game.
Here's Pedroza. Face the 29-year-old right-hander out of Phoenix. Takes a strike. He was born in Texas City, Texas.
A.J. Ellis in the on-deck circle. He came on as part of a new battery for the Dodgers.
Jams him, pops him up. Gordon being called off by Carlos. And that is out number 1. And a reminder, nothing demonstrates the pride and commitment of being a White Sox fan more than joining the roster of season ticket holders. Season ticket plans offer the best seat locations, the lowest prices, with the most benefits. Full season, weekday, and weekend plans are available now and start as low as $546 per seat. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Play that pop-up right there by Pedroza is exactly what you'd like to see your right fielder do.
And your second baseman, because he's going out there full go until he hears the voice of Carlos Quentin telling him to back off.
There's a chopper foul.
San Francisco Giants are tearing up the Cactus League, 18-6 this year. Kansas City's doing a good job at 14-7.
Kansas City has some good-looking young players.
Well, a lot of people talk about Mike Moustakas, but remember Eric Hosmer. Because he's going to be a good one with a whole lot of power. He's probably a little bit further away, well, undoubtedly further away than Moustakas. You got a young pitcher named Montgomery who also has a good arm. So there's some young talent on the horizon for Kansas City. And they've never been all that easy for us to face it anyway.
No, they played us tough each and every year. Omar's back. He's there. 2 down. Now, even though a lot of times we've had record-wise a dominating record over Kansas City, they were not easy games. Here's Herrera. Kellyanne Herrera. Nice inning. Nice inning for Jeff Gray. 1, 2, 3. 7th inning stretch. We need 1 to tie.
Here's our Miller scoring summary, and we'll take a look at the first inning where the Sox jumped on top. Juan Pierre leads off with a base hit after stealing a base. Paul Konerko comes up, and he doubles in his 7th run of the spring, followed by a Rios double, his 12th driven in. And Carlos Quentin, his 9th driven in. But in the 6th, Matt Kemp comes up, a towering 2-run homer. And that's where we stand at 4-3, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. That is our Miller scoring summary.
It'll be Quentin, Castro, and Morel.
You might remember Matt Guerrero from his days with the Twins and the former White Sox. So 1 inning for Broxton after 5 for Eli. Smith comes in to play first base.
So here's Carlos. Carlos, that RBI single in the first. He's 1 for 2. And it's certainly always nice to see our good buddies, radio broadcast team for the Dodgers, Charlie Steiner, Rick Mundy next door.
Rick's just a terrific guy, was a great player, first player ever drafted out of Arizona State. Had a great career. One of those guys, Hawk, that could drive the ball, left-hand hitter, drive the ball to left center field. Didn't flick it.
He joined us right out of as being the first draft, the first player.
Yep.
In Kansas City. After he'd been there about 3 or 4 days, we're standing in the outfield together. And I said, We didn't draw very well there.
I wonder why.
That ball hit high, deep. Stay fair. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A foul by Quentin. And this game is tied at 4.
Second run batted in today on his third home run of the spring. So our fourth drive of the game belongs to Carlos Quentin. This one didn't hook, didn't have time to hook. This was a prodigious fly ball.
First pitch strike to Ramon Castro. But Rick, we're standing out there, and I had to get the rookie because they got me as the rookie. So I said, Rick, how many people you think are going to be here tonight? Here's a shot off Guerrero. He's got time. It's out number 1. He said, it's going to be between 6,000 and 7,000. I said, Rick, I tell you, I'm going to bet you $10 that there's going to be between 25 and 30,000 here tonight. He says, what? I said, there'll be between 25 and 30,000. He says, you got to bet. Well, I think we finally wound up going about 4,000 that night. So I go up to him after the game. I said, give him my 10. He said, what are you talking about? I said, you lose. He said, you said 25 or 30,000. That's exactly what I said.
That's right. 25 people for 30,000.
That's right. He paid me. Then he hit his first home run, and I gave it back to him. Brent, last time up, hit a hard grounder to the right side. 1-1 to count. And there's a base hit in the hole. Attaboy, Brent.
This time, instead of going to right field, Brent takes it through the left side.
Omar has flied to left and he's flied to right. Pretty good lead by Morel. There he goes. Pitch out.
He guessed right.
Well, thinking he got his foot in before the tag.
We'll take another look at it. The sweeping tag.
I couldn't see it. Was that the Phantom?
By Herrera. Yeah, that's a neighborhood play.
1-1 to count. To our soon-to-be 44-year-old terrific shortstop. And it's hit hard but foul. Arguably one of the best shortstops ever in the history of this game.
Well, first ballot Hall of Famer, and it's not even going to be close.
No.
So for those of you who would like to keep track of who's in the game, Xavier Paul's in left field. Trent Oltgen is in center. Gabe Kapler is in right. And the infield's all shifted around.
I'll always remember Gabe.
Yes,
As will Mark Burley, as will
Yes.
Dwayne Wise.
He was the guy that just missed taking it out of the park.
That still, to this day, in my mind, was just an unbelievable catch. Flips that one, is going foul. And the reason being is just before every pitch, I always check the outfielders. This is the habit I had as a player. You always check your outfielders. And just before that pitch was delivered by Burley, I looked up, and here was Dwayne playing in close like he always does. And when Gabe hit that ball, my heart just sank, because I didn't think there was any way in the world he was going to get there. He kicked it in high gear about halfway there, then went up and made that absolutely fantastic catch.
Well, the fact that he went up high on the wall, brought it back in, couldn't corral it, had it drift around on his body for a while before finally securing it. It's an unbelievable play.
Yeah. And there's ball 4. That'll bring up Juan Pierre. Totals on the board, if you're just tuning in, identical at 4-8-0.
Juan Pierre.
And that's going to fall. Center fielder was playing over and to left center. So now 2 out, runners at the corners. And here comes Beckham, who's 0 for 3, and he's had 3 good at-bats.
Well, this is his time to shine. This could turn everything around here. Fortunately, as I had my backup pick to click, was Juan Pierre.
All that BS you got, you should have been an announcer.
Last year, I think I won 6 times. In a, geez,
games.
It was horrible. It was just a terrible year.
9,237 in attendance.
Not a bad crowd here today.
Nice crowd. One good lead. There he goes. And they're going to go through. So he picks up his second steal of the ball game.
Juan got a very good jump. Looks back. Realizes second baseman coming in where he was. There was not going to be any play at second.
Goes right through it. Boy, in years past, there'd be a lot of hitters that did not like that at all. They wanted that guy out of the stretch. But today, guys pitch from the stretch all the time, so it doesn't make any difference.
True.
And the count 1-2.
And you know that he's not going to pitch around Gordon. Gordon asking Corey Blazer if that ball was up and out of the strike zone, and it appeared to be a little high. But a base hit. Drives home 2 and breaks his 4-4 tie. Good buddy of mine has taken time away from his busy schedule of watching basketball to tune into the game today. Jack Ruby looking on an Oak Lawn. Always been a busy man.
Jack's a good man.
Good man. Teeth are his life.
That's one way to put it. Since he is a dentist.
It's true. Oh, there's a fan very happy. Raising a little Dodger fan. Just able to stay alive.
Ducks on the pond, 2 out. 2-2 the count. It's high, full count with Dunn on deck. He got a roller, a 3-2 get me over breaking ball right there, and hits it foul. And a reminder, you can join the 2011 Sox Pride Club, the official online fan club of the Sox baseball, and get guaranteed prime tickets with the ultimate membership. Plus, all members receive monthly ticket opportunities, game day audio for your PC, and other exclusive perks all season long. So visit whitesox.soxprideclub.com to join today. Once again, the payoff. That ball hit hard, deep, stretch, way back. He looks up, you can put it on the board, yes! A terrific at bat right here for Gordon Beckham. Fouled off a couple of tough pitches and then bangs out the 3-run homer. Stone Ponies pick the quick. Mercer.
Line drive rocket in the bullpen. And that changes things around a bit. It's a 3-run lead on the 3rd home run of the spring. Gordon's now driven in 10. He's in line to have a big year.
And checks it up on the breaking ball.
High fastball. And Gordon on a real good curveball. Out away, stayed alive. Then got a rolling curveball, and then got a fastball that he hammered.
1-1 to count to Adam. Well, my first day here in spring training this year, I was talking with Greg Walker, and he said, Hawk, he said, keep your eye on Beckham. He said, he's going to have a monster year. Turns that one over. And the count 2-1.
Well, with his added strength and added muscle that he worked on in the offseason, those line drive doubles that he hit when he first came to big leagues, they're going to go out of the park now.
Well, if you put a bag over his head when you first walked in spring training, you would have never known it was Beckham. That's how much that muscle he put on, he changed his body. Just off the corner. Good eye. Full count. And that is high into left field. Long way to go. He gets there, makes the catch, but some damage is done as the 4 spot goes up on that board. Sox lead at 7-4. 7-4 good guys here in the top of the 8th inning. And Tony Gwynn Jr. strides up to the plate.
And Josh Kinney comes into the game with Jordan Danks taking over in right field. There is Josh Kinney on the hill.
32-year-old veteran. And the count 1-0. Kenny, 6'1", 215 pounds. Good movement right there. And the count 1-1. Breaking ball, and the count 1-2.
Tony Gwynn Jr. originally coming up with Milwaukee through their organization. A little bit of a different body type than his dad.
Another breaking pitch over into the Sox dugout. And a reminder, follow the White Sox with MLB.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit www.whitesox.com for details. He gone.
This is the 4th game that we will have done of 6 this spring. 1 on WGN, 5 on Comcast, and it will be a pleasure if in fact it holds up and we don't see the bottom of the 9th inning, because we've had a tough time so far.
Ogen. Trent Ogen.
Ogen took over in center field for Matt Kemp, who earlier hit a 2-run homer. At that point, put the Dodgers up by a run. But 4 in the 7th, highlighted by 2 home runs, giving the Sox a 3-run lead.
Off the end of the bat. Nice pick, peg, play. Yes, nice play. 2 down.
If that gets by, there's no way that Morel's going to get him. So Kenny, on a little squibber off the end of the bat, had to cut this ball off right himself and get it there just a half a step in time.
Here's Xavier Paul. Almost like a screwball right there. Misses low and away. The ball, a strike, 2 out. Tried to backdoor him. Alex has been playing a very shallow center field this spring, and that is nice to see. Three and 1. Come on, no walks. the count goes full. He's got some good movement on that sinker.
And it looks to be a pretty decent changeup.
Breaking ball, and that wouldn't have get me over. It was just a little bit up. I tell you, if a pitcher doesn't have a good changeup today, he's really cheating himself. Those are the 5 worst words that a hitter can hear. He's got a great changeup. That sets everything else up.
Well, the guys today, most of them will use the circle change, which is really held with the 3 fingers and the index finger and thumb in a circle on the side of the ball.
There's it getting me over.
For a lot of pitchers, it's so unlike any other pitch, it's very difficult to command. That one just stayed rolling right over the middle of the plate. And Paul took it into right field, keeping it alive for Kapler.
Takes it down low. 9,237 in the house. Now the sun's starting to come through for the first time today. And there's a bullet. Cut off nicely by Juan, who will hold Kapler to a single. Good job by Pierre.
Kapler hits his ball awfully hard. Fastball out of weight. And Pierre gets to it quickly with a 3-run lead. Gets the ball into second base. There's no play at third. And Corey Smith, number 96, good old number 96, steps up.
Breaking ball strike. Checks it up. Did not go. It's even or 10 apiece. Sox lead it 7-4. Close pitch. Again, didn't get it. Two and one to count with 2 down. Runners at the corners. There was a hanger, and this game is tied. Blast by Corey Smith.
With 2 outs, nobody on. A couple of singles and a towering home run. That ball hit off the back wall of the bullpen. And Kinney has hung a couple of them, and this one he pays for.
Gilberto Ortiz. Mercy, mercy, mercy. There's another high breaking ball. This one, thank goodness, was moving away. there's a shot back to the middle. So Roberto Ortiz keeps it going. And here's Pedrosa. He's been to the plate once and popped it up to right field. Pretty good lead by Ortiz. He does not go. Big hack right there. And the count evens at 1. A.J. Ellis on deck. Hurt. Way back. Way out of here, and it's a 9-7 Dodger lead. All coming. 2 out, nobody on.
A towering 2-run homer. A guy not known for big power, but he crushed that one. That one on the inner half and long gone.
Another breaking ball strike. 9-13-0 for the Dodgers. 7-10-0 for our Sox. 5 runs so far here in the top of the 8th inning for LA. And that's a can of corn. But a lot of damage done. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We need 2 a tie.
Got a new pitcher coming in. Hong Chi Kuo. 6'1", 240. Out of Taiwan last year, 3-2 with a spotless 1.20 ERA in 56 games. Gave up 29 hits in 60 innings. Now that is a pretty good reliever. And he inherits a 2-run lead. But the middle of the order due up to face him.
Here's Paulie with Rios on deck. 73 punch outs in 60 innings. That'll work. Only 18 walks. Fouls it straight back. Paulie doubled in a run and scored in the first. He's 1 for 3 last time up. With a shot into center field right at him. Quick breaker there. High and to right field, just in front of the track. 1 out.
Eli, Broxton, Guerrero, and now Quo for Dodgers. Gavin Floyd went 6 innings, followed by Gray and Kinney. And 16 runs, 23 hits in all, but it's been an errorless game.
Alex is 2 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored, a single, a double, and he also has lined hard to center field. Jordan Danks on deck. That ball, a hard one hopper to second. 2 down. If you're just tuning in, the Sox were 3 in the first. Dodgers came back 2 in the third. 2 in the sixth. Sox with 4 in the bottom of the 7th, but at 7-4. Then in the top half of this inning, with 2 out, nobody on, they scored 5. Good rip by Danks, just underneath it. Jordan 8 for 24 on the spring with 5 RBIs. One of the best talents in our organization.
Ramon Castro has gone all the way behind the plate.
Another good rip. Good check.
Trying to heat him upstairs. Well, Jordan able to just take a look at it and keep the hands back.
1-2 count. That's a good check right there. Made a key pitch on him. And got him, so a 1-2-3 inning for Crow. We're into the ninth. Top of the ninth inning, 7-5. Check it, 9-7. Dodgers. And nothing demonstrates the pride and commitment of being a White Sox fan more than joining the roster of season ticket holders. Season ticket plans offer the best seat locations, the lowest prices with the most benefits. Full season, weekday, and weekend plans are available right now and start as low as $546 per seat. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Brian Bruni comes into the game, and he's vying for perhaps the last spot in the bullpen. And he's done a pretty good job of it. This is his 7th game. A fairly decent spring.
Herrera pops it up. Alex coming on, makes the catch. 1 out.
Pitching for the Dodgers, number 83, Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson.
JOC.
Well, if they didn't train right over the left field wall, you'd have thought they had a bus the size of Long Island to bring all these guys here today. They're breaking out some numbers that you just never see in the spring.
Little jam job right there, and quickly 2 out.
Center fielder number 49, Trent Olson.
Ochin. Nine 13-0 for them, 7-10-0 for us. Brian Bruni, what you call a rapper.
He used to throw exceptionally hard. He's had a few injuries since then. Still has a pretty decent fastball.
He's out of Warrenton, Oregon. 29, 6'3", 235 pounds. And the count's 3-0. Started off his major league career with the D-backs in 04. Went to the Yankees in 06. Washington last year. And that's ball 4. So here's Xavier Paul. He started off that 5-run eighth with a 2-out single. Took his head off just enough. He almost walked right into that one. Paul is out of Slidell, Louisiana last year. And 121 at bats for the Dodgers, hit .231, drove in 11. Little high gas right there. And don't forget about the Blackhawks and Coyotes. Tonight at 7 over WG in Chicago. I can't believe a lot of our players are going to that game. 2-2 the count. There goes the runner. Well, full count. And if you're just tuning in, the Jake Peavy medical update. They put him on the shelf for a while. After that outing yesterday, he acquired excess discomfort. It appears to be rotator cuff tendonitis. Sox are going to treat those symptoms for the next 24 to 48 hours and see if that discomfort can be controlled. Line shot right to Beckham. And it'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, trailing 9-7.
Mike McDougal comes into the game. The Dodgers lead 9-7. We will see the bottom of the 9th inning once again. And McDougal has been around a long time. Former White Sox pitcher, former Kansas City, former Washington National, former a few different teams. Stuff has always been great. Control has always been an issue. And he inherits that 2-run lead.
We have seen Mike when he was virtually unhittable. And we've seen him when he couldn't throw a strike.
He's got so much movement. A lot of head movement. A lot of moving parts. Looks like he comes at you in sections. If he gets the ball over the plate, he's tough to hit.
First pitch strike. Ramon Castro. Mike is now 34 years old. 6'4", 175 pounds. He hadn't gained much weight since he came into this league.
Right here out of Mesa, Arizona, I believe.
He came in a game against us in Kansas City. And I don't think I've ever seen a right-hander with more movement than he had in that particular outing. It was almost unbelievable. And he was throwing 97.
Pretty impressive. And a hard slider. At times in his career has been a closer. Times he does that. Nope. He just fires it right to the backstop. A.J. Ellis was sitting up low and away. That one was 12 feet high.
Ball hit hard. That's out number one. Mike, he's been one of those guys that he's really a nice person. And one of those guys that you pull for very hard. He had a habit with us, though. Every time he would get a guy 2 strikes, try to put him away.
A spinning little slider?
No. He just tried to power through when it was a breaking ball, and it would absolutely 80% of the time go to the backstop.
It's not a very good habit to get into.
No, I mean, it was unbelievable. Brett Morel has swung the bat well today. He has 1 hit. He's 1 for 3. And now he is 2 for 4. He is really starting to heat up with that lumber.
Well, it couldn't come at a better time because they threw the third base job open between Mark Teahan and Brent Morel. And exactly what you were talking about, Greg Walker talking about balance. That's what he talked to Morel about. Felt he was getting well out in front of everything. Now he's waiting back. And he's got a hit to right center and a hit through the left side.
So here's Omar. Omar 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Takes outside ball 1. Well, that is a word, as we talked about earlier in this game, that's a word that is not used near enough in trying to help guys with their hitting. The word balance. This should be it. And rack him up. And this ball game is over. So the Dodgers come up with 5 runs in the top of the 8th inning with 2 out, nobody on. For that 5 spot, they win at 9-7, and we'll be back.